Hello students, welcome to today's lecture. So today we are going to study the sedimentation. Okay, what do you mean by sedimentation? Okay, so last class we studied the motion of particles through a fluid, right? How the particle will move through a fluid. Okay, now we have also found out the terminal velocities, right, in different flow regimes. One is Stokes flow regime and another is Newton's flow regime, right? So and you also have seen that the terminal velocities change in different velocity regimes, right? Flow regimes, sorry. So based on the difference in terminal velocities, we can separate the particles, right? So if there is a heavy particle, then it will have higher terminal velocity, okay? And if you have lighter particle, then the terminal velocity will be less, right? So the assumption is that uh, the surface area will be same, right? Diameter. If you take the particles diameter same of light and heavy particles, then heavy particle will have higher terminal velocity, while the light particle will have the lower terminal velocity. Okay. So based on the difference in terminal velocities, you can separate particles of different densities, right? So that is the concept behind sedimentation processes. So using these difference in terminal velocities in the fluid of certain particles, we can separate them. Okay. So we'll first have the gravity settling processes. So gravity means the settling process is purely due to the gravitational force. So if you put a particle in a fluid, so it will fall down because of the gravity, right? So I will not add any external force. Okay, the only external force here is the gravity. So based on the gravitational force, we will separate particles, right, based on uh, densities. So if you remove all the particles from a liquid, then it is called a clarifier. Okay, so if you see here, so this is called clarifier. Okay, suppose the liquid contains a mixture of solids of different sizes, different densities, right? So if you can remove all the particles from the liquid because of the settling, then it is called clarifier. However, if you have a device that separates the solids into two fractions, let's say uh, the solids get separated, the lighter fraction will be at the top and the heavier fraction will be at the bottom. So then it is called a classifier, right? So but this, we have two types of equipments, clarifier and classifier, right? So the principle of sedimentation will be same for both type of equipment. Okay, so first we will study gravity classifier. So gravity classifier, what do you mean by classifier? So you are just uh, separating in solid mixture into two separate fractions. Okay, one maybe a light fraction, one heavy fraction. Okay, based on the density difference. Okay, so we have gravity classifier. Okay, so using gravity classifier, you can separate two solid particles into two fractions. Okay, now within the gravity classifiers, we have sorting classifiers. Okay, as you can say, sorting, so it will sort out, you know, different types of particles. Okay, let's say the light particle and heavy particle will be sorted out. Okay, so within sorting classifiers, we have two methods. One is sink and float method, and another is differential settling method. Okay, let's first discuss the sink and float method. As you can see, sink, the lighter density particle will sink. Okay, you'll move to the bottom of the fluid, while the heavy particle will sink at the bottom, while the lighter particle will float, right? So if you have a mixture of particles of different densities, one light, one heavy, then what will happen? So one lighter particle will float while the heavy particle will sink, right? So but the only thing is you have to maintain the density of the fluid, right? Density of the fluid. So the density of the fluid which is used to sink and float the materials will be in between the this lighter and heavy material. So if the density of the lighter material, light, if it wants to float, then it should be less than the density of the fluid, right? And if the heavy particle wants to sink, then the density should be greater than fluid. So you have to maintain this criteria if you want to separate using sink and float method. Okay, the main thing is the heavy particle will sink and the lighter particle will float, and the choice of the fluid medium, so density should be in between these two. Okay, then only the lighter particle will float and the heavy particle will sink. Okay, so using this principle you can classify two materials of different densities. Okay, let's see one example, or if you can see. So this separation of coal, you want to separate coal. Okay, you want to get pure coal without any mixture. So the raw coal will contain dust particles, sand, rock, some heavy particles, right? So how will you separate the raw coal, that is mixture of some unwanted materials and coal? So you want to get the pure coal. So how will you get it? So the thing is, so first take the raw coal, then mix with sand. Okay, so you are mixing with sand. Why? So that you create a difference in density. Okay, so sand is heavier than the coal. Okay, so you mix these two, and you have water also here. So water is there, right? The density of water is such that it is greater than the coal and it is less than the sand. Okay, so sand will sink and the coal will float. Okay, so here we have water, we have mixed sand and raw coal. Then there's a agitator shaft, it will rotate, completely agitate the mixture. So what will happen? The coal will float, right? Coal will be at the top and sand will be at the bottom, right? So the coal will slide through this. Okay, again the sand and water is collected here. Okay, and it is sent to this part. Okay, the coal will float at the top and coal can be collected. So coal will overflow through this. Okay, so now again it is sprayed by water to clean. Okay, so we have the spray contains water and sand again. So again it is sprayed here. Because of the density difference, the again coal will be at the top and sand and water will settle down. Okay, then you will get the clean coal, right? And the sand and water will settle down, it will be collected here and you can recycle here. Okay, and the water will be collected here, and you have makeup water because you will lose some water because of evaporation, so there will be some water losses, so you have to make up the water, right? This way you can separate coal from sand. Okay, or you can get clean coal. Actually, you are deliberately mixing the sand, okay? Because the raw coal will contain some other particles, sand, higher density particles, right? So then only you can get clean coal here. Okay, this is the example for sink and float method. So next method is differential settling method. Okay, so this basically utilizes the difference in the terminal velocities. Okay, so how? Let's see the example, then you will understand how this method is used to uh, you know clarify classify uh, mixture of materials. Okay, so let's say you have two materials A and B. Okay, A and B. Here it is saying like A is heavier. In this example, it is taken as galena, PBS, right, of specific gravity 7.5, and B is lighter. Okay, so if you put these two materials in the fluid, what will happen? You might think that the heavier will be at the bottom, like let's say like this, and B will at the top. Okay, so actually the complete separation is not possible because the uh, the materials will have particle size distribution. Okay, so you cannot have uh, all B material of particular diameter only. Okay, it will be a distribution of particles of different particle sizes. So for B material you can have dp1 particle diameter, dp2, and so on, and similarly for A also you will have varying range of particle sizes. Okay, dp1, dp2, and so on, right? Then if you put these two materials, this mixture of different sizes in the fluid, so they will have different terminal velocities, right? So you cannot obtain pure separation or pure classification, but what will happen is you will get three regions. This region will be lighter, then this middle one will be the transition range. It will contain a mixture of you know uh, smaller A particles and larger B particles. Okay, so let's say, and the thing is, what I want to say is, so if you have larger B particles and smaller A particles, okay, so the density of A is greater than density of B. So ideally the particle A will settle faster than the particle B because the density of A is higher than the density of B, right? But there will be some B particles which are very large. Okay, dp there are some particles of material B which is very large than some very small particles of A. Okay, so this and this will have some equal terminal velocities. Okay, they will try to settle at the same rate. Okay, so these particles will separate as a fraction. So you'll get three regions. One, at the top you'll get the very small B particles. Okay, and at the intermediate region you get larger B particles with higher terminal velocity, and at the bottom and plus smaller A particles, and at the bottom you will get larger A particles. So you will get three different regions. So I want to find these particles which have equal terminal velocity. So assume you have in the Stokes law regime. So for a material, what is the density? Rho pa, right? So this is the terminal velocity in the Stokes law regime. Okay, and this is the terminal velocity of quartz, which have lower density than the galena A, right? In Stokes law regime. So what will happen at equal settling particles? I want to find the diameter of the A and B, which will have same terminal velocity, despite the fact that A is heavier than B, because smaller A particles will move almost same as the larger B particles, right? B is having lower density. Okay, so therefore, if you divide these two equations, because ut is same equal settling particles, so we will have this ratio. Okay, but if it is settling in the Newton's law regime, then use those formulas for terminal velocities in the Newton's law regime or range, and if you divide, then you'll get this. Okay, so if you plot, so on the x-axis you have diameter of particle size, and on the y-axis you have terminal velocity. Let's say this curve is for A, PBS, galena, and this is for quartz, right? So you can see, and we have three particle sizes. Okay, for B also we have three particles at dp1. Though this is a smaller B particle, this is the larger B particle. Similarly for A, we have smaller A particle dp1 and dp4. Okay, larger A particle. So definitely the larger A particle will settle down at the bottom, right? It will settle very fast than any of the B. So this reason, if you can see by bold line, so from dp3 to dp4, it will settle faster than any of B particle. Okay, any of dp1, dp2, dp3, dp4 of B particle. Okay, similarly this dp1 and dp2 of B particle will settle very slower than any of A. Okay, then what is the problem then? So what about the particles between dp2 and dp4 and dp1 and dp3? So dp2, this point to this point, and this point to this point. So the particles of B having diameter dp1 to dp3, and the particles of material A having diameter from dp2 to dp4 will give you a mixed fraction, because within this limit there will be particles which have equal settling velocities. Okay, so in this way you'll get, suppose there is a container, there is a fluid, and you have put A and B. So it will be like at the bottom we'll have, let's say, the heavier dp4, heavier of the A material will be at the bottom, and here it will be dp3, and at the top, let's say it is dp1, the smallest particle of material B, right? So in this range it will be B particle only, and at this range it will be A particles only of diameter dp4 and dp3 and dp1 to dp2, right? What about in this middle? So in this middle we'll have mixed fraction, you will have A plus B. Okay, on this range. Okay, this is the principle behind the different settling method. Okay, till now we have studied classifiers, right? Gravity classifiers, sink and float method, and differential settling method. Okay, now we'll study clarifier, right? as earlier said, clarifiers are those devices which completely remove the liquid from the mixture of particles. Okay. So the thickeners, what are thickeners? Thickeners are basically large containers, open containers, right? Used for carrying out the clarification. So they are called, thickeners. Okay. Now, within this, we have flocculation. So using flocculation, you can clarify the solid and liquid, right? So what happens in flocculation? So in some cases, we have particles of very, very small diameter, okay? Very small particle diameter, like few micrometers range, okay? Then what happens is the terminal velocity will be very low, okay? So the settling time will be very low, okay? So it will take years to settle down those particles. So you will not be able to separate the liquid and the mixture of particles, right? So then what is the solution? So the solution is, if you somehow make these particles to group together, form clusters or call flocks, okay, then this group of particles will have higher settling velocity, right? So it will settle easily, right? So it is called agglomeration. So you can promote the agglomeration. So if the particle is very small, you can make them settle faster by making them form agglomerates or clusters or flocks, right? So you can add some agents, flocculating agents, right, to support this formation of agglomeration. Then only it will settle faster. So sometimes the lime, alumina, or sodium silicate are added as flocculating agents. Then only it will settle faster, right? So, but if you want to calculate the terminal velocity of this cluster flock, right, then it will be very difficult, because you cannot predict the terminal velocity of the flocks. Okay. So let's see the batch sedimentation. So in batch sedimentation, what happens is, like, you have a some kind of container, and you'll put the suspension here, the liquid with the mixture of particles, okay, or flocks, okay. So if you put the suspension in that container, what will happen? So the particles try to settle down, right? After like few days, you'll get a clear liquid at the top, right? So this is batch sedimentation, and this is under gravity settling process, because there is only external force, that is a gravitational force. No other external force is there except gravitational force. So the settling is happening only because of the gravity. Okay. So to understand batch sedimentation, so you have to see this. Okay. So initially we have this container, right? So the fluid height, not fluid height, the suspension height is Z naught. Okay. So it is a uniform mixture of particles. Okay. So dot dot dot. So this is called zone B. So this uniform mixture of particles, you can see it is called zone B. Okay. Now liquid is inside. Okay. So after some time, what will happen? This uniform particles will settle down, right, with equal velocities, equal terminal velocities. So what will happen? They will try to move with the same velocities at the bottom, right? So what will happen? The liquid will be left here. So liquid will be here, right? This is pure liquid. So this is called zone A. Okay. So this is zone A. Right. So the zone A will increase with time, and zone B will decrease, right? And there is new zone called D at the bottom. So where the particles, you know, get settled here and get collected here, right? So this is called zone D. So with time, more particles will settle at the bottom. So the zone D will increase, right? As you can see. There will be also zone C, right? Which will be having constant height. Okay, so you can see the zone C will be having constant height toward the process. Okay, so the zone B will gradually reduce, right? Because it contains uniform mixture, so all particles will settle with the same velocities, terminal velocities. So it will gradually reduce. The D will zone D will increase with time because the more particles get collected at the bottom, and zone C will remain constant. Then what is the difference between the zone D and zone C? So basically, the zone D particles will experience some compressive force from the top, right? So the particles are more densely packed at the bottom, right? So with as the time moves, then more particles will settle down, right? And finally you will get the clear zone A and then zone D. Now you can, you know, collect the liquid, or you can collect this material, whichever is important. Okay, so this is you know, this is called clarifier because you have completely separated the liquid from the particles. Okay. Now uh, you have understood the process. What about the settling velocity? So at what speed the sedimentation was happening? So we have plotted the settling time versus the interface height. Clear liquid interface height means this is the interface. Okay, so clear liquid interface height means you can say this one, this is the height, right? This is clear liquid, so this height is called clear liquid interface height. So you can see initially the rate of settling was very fast, right? But after you know, after 2 hours, what happened? So the settling rate is slowing down, right? After 8 hours, it is almost constant. So this is because the zone B particles are settling much higher, right? The zone B particles are having uniform distribution. That's why these terminal velocities will be higher. Okay, there will be less hindered settling in the zone B. So the particles settle more faster in the zone B. So that's why the zone B decrease very rapidly, right? But zone C and zone D, it was not, the height was not decreasing or increasing at fast rate. Okay? The particles in zone D and C will have lesser terminal velocities, right? So that's why you can see very sharp rise in settling velocity uh, during the first settling hours, right? Right? Then it the settling, you know, settling rate or sedimentation rate reduces, and it becomes constant after certain time. Like in this case, it is 8 hours, and you'll get the final height. Final height means you have this final height of the liquid interface. Okay. Okay. Next, we'll discuss the centrifugal classifiers or clarifiers. So in that case, the external force is centrifugal force. Okay. Thank you.